And
Okay.
is there anyone from the public joining this meeting?
Not that I can see.
No, I don't see anybody either. Okay, the minutes from previous meeting? Anybody have changes, corrections? And I've taken the pledge to never do the minutes again. Because I am
Not that
terrible
bad.
at it.
It's good there's no changes because this is just a printout.
I had plenty of
Okay.
changes while I was typing it. I said several words that are unprintable.
There you have it.
Okay, so
Okay, can somebody move to accept them?
I will move to accept the minutes of the December meeting.
I'll second
Okay.
it.
Who was
Sally
that? Pat?
second. Sally
Pat?
seconded.
Okay.
Pat is not on the call yet.
Oh, there was Sally. I'm sorry.
That is Sally. Well, you can't see her, so
Yep.
I can see it says, oh, it just says call in user 2. So, but call in user 2 is Sally.
Okay, we're on to the president's report. I have a question for April. That pilot filing about the Marcy Nano that had to be signed and all, do I have to sign that?
Oh, that was a while ago. I believe the board president does sign it, but we didn't do that, huh? They didn't contact me again.
It came, yeah, I got it on my email last week.
Does it say who has to sign it?
No, it just said you fill in the blank. I mean, I guess what we would fill in is the first part is trustees, and the second part would just be done in public library. But I didn't see, I thought you got it, so I didn't know. Before you got one.
I didn't get one this time.
Okay, so you want me to print it and then figure out what, we've got to send it back to somebody.
Okay. Does it have a return address? You could bring it like when you come to sign checks.
Yes. Okay, so I'll just print it and bring it.
Okay.
I just assumed that you had it too, so I didn't.
I usually do get, or they send it to you via us usually, that kind of thing, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, that's all right. There's no problem. I'll just print it.
Okay.
That's it for my report.
What's
the
that called?
It was called the pilot, the payment and leases.
Yeah, so it's an acronym, PILOT.
Marcy Nano something. I've forgotten what the whole thing said, but it's that whole setup up at SUNY.
Yeah. Okay, you were
financial. What?
You're good.
Okay, financial reports. We have the expenditure and revenue report for November.
As far as I know, there's not really anything, not as far as I know, but I can see there's nothing really glaring that stands out right yet. We're only 2 months into a budget. So there's not a lot to draw your attention to.
No, I didn't really have any questions.
Char did do this capital project thing, which we didn't have before. So she worked on that. That's
right. Yeah,
there.
That was good.
Okay.
Is
Okay,
Pat
so we
with us
moved.
tonight?
She isn't.
Okay, I just wondered.
And she didn't call to say she wasn't coming. So
Okay, we need to approve that report of expenditure and revenues for November. Do we have a motion?
I will so move.
Okay, and I will second. We now have the abstract of claims dated December 9th to January 12th.
that you were emailed just now.
Yeah.
And I actually did
You have
took
what?
note of I took note of the dollar amount. I actually made sure I got that right. Should
Okay,
I just,
$81,058.09, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
stands out on that either that I think needs to be, brought to your attention.
Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
Then
that
when we need
seems
motion
fairly
to,
straightforward.
we need a motion to accept the abstract of claims. I will so move. Do we
I'll
have a
second it.
second?
I will second.
Okay. The director's report. Who's next?
Hey.
What about this correction that you sent? We have a correction to the abstract of claims of November 11.
We sent that a while ago, Sharp.
They came with the stuff you sent.
Yes, it did. I think the main thing was the claims numbers were all different. The number amount wasn't different, but by 3 cents, I think. But it was more the claim numbers.
So I don't know if that has to be approved. It just has to be I mean, we could approve we have a change every time. So I don't know if we want to try to come up, hey, Pat's here. I don't know if we want to come up with some kind of blanket thing that says if there aren't significant changes, we won't formally accept. I don't know if you, I'm just making that up. I don't, but we could accept the changes of that too, and then just, it's done.
All right, so changes for what? For the November?
Abstract
What was
of
it?
claims,
November to December.
November to
abstract.
December 8th.
November to December abstract?
Yes.
Okay. And what did we have to change?
Numbers.
The numbering. Yep, the claim numbers were out of order.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll move to accept the change in the November, December abstract. Do we have a second?
Pat, can you hear us?
I can second it.
Do we have a,
Oh, Sally seconded.
Sally, that was you, Sally? Okay, thanks. All right.
I just wondered if
we now
Pat
have
could
the
hear.
directors.
Okay.
Oh,
Pat, can you hear us okay? I see her name.
I don't.
Maybe she's still puttering with things.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see it.
So, let's see. This was new for us. Mid-York has started to do a youth services virtual meeting. So that was the first one. And they invited a person who represented a vendor that had focuses on diversity. So diversity in all ways. And that they were beautiful books. So that was interesting. And then just in general, people talking about what they're doing with youth services, what are we thinking about for summer, that basically that we're not planning anything until we know more, that sort of thing. But it was nice to be in a meeting with some people.
Can you hear me, April?
I can now. Thank you, Pat.
Oh, well, I had 2 long distance phone calls, so that's great. I just got off the phone. I was long distance for some, and I'm sorry.
All right. Well, we're all here. So
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm glad you're here, Pat.
Yep, good.
Thank you.
Okay, and you all know that we're trying the WebEx platform, and it appears that 5 of us were able to get in without using my cell phone, so that's progress.
Greatly appreciated.
Dunham Public Library, the building closed, which you knew about because no, you didn't necessarily. December 8th was our board meeting. So in the period of since we've had our last board meeting, we closed for a few days. April panicked a little. It's like, oh dear, we should close. And then the next day, Dennis came in and Herm came in to clean everything. He used our fogger and cleaned the whole building. And then after 2 hours from there, Dennis came in and he emptied book drops and things. And then we went in on the following Wednesday and we kind of just came up with a game plan of how we were going to move forward safely and, you know, who was going to be tested and whatnot. Then we decided that, you know, we would just
But
continue with,
Wait a minute,
I'm
wait
sorry.
a minute. You can get free testing, can't you?
Well, yes, and people did. Quite a few of us went to get a test. Char and I went, and there was, I know
Why
Kim
wouldn't
went.
everybody be tested?
Well, we all, if they wanted to, they would, you know, we encouraged them to, but Mark Supa was the person who was exposed or had a positive COVID test, and he is a morning cleaner, and not everybody really came in contact with him to the point where they were with him for 15 minutes and extended period. But he does go out throughout the whole building. So many of us did some precautionary testing, and nobody else tested positive than Mark. So we dodged a bullet there. My report's not over. So that was the personal, I think we're scooting right down. The BYO book club was, we had it and it worked out, and we had about 5 or 6 people. I don't really know how, I don't really remember, but so that was a virtual meeting that started, and that was a good thing. And this was the program's possibility was a webinar, and it had a lot of fun ideas. And then also during this whole, I was very distracted on the Monday and Tuesday that we had the first COVID positive for a staff person, because it seemed like I had things here at home. I was going to, anyway, had a lot going on. I was working from home, and then I was also part of this literature and libraries. And on the Monday afternoon of the positive testing, we had, it was a pandemic webinar that I was attending. So there was a lot going on those first few days. And then I'm going to skip down basically your normal meetings, but Char was part of it, Kim, Rosemary. We decided we were working on a pandemic plan, and that we knew that was going to be, I'm not really sure if it's due in June or whatever, but we thought, well, we had framework for some stuff, but so we narrowed in on the pandemic plan and had some Zoom meetings and things of that nature. And I did participate in the Mid-York Plan of Service and a CLRC virtual board meeting, but also I had another thing on the one that you had, and I didn't go to the board meeting today, or the Plan of Service meeting today with CLRC, because we were notified that our other maintenance person that works with Herm, Sean, tested positive. We had a positive COVID test for him today. So then we went through and said, okay, who has been in contact? Because he comes in the afternoon. So people that are there in the morning, there's been a lot of cleaning. So Herm was not happy. He said, I can't quarantine again. I said, well, you have to go get a test. And if you're negative, you don't have to quarantine. So he is going to be out. He said he would come remove snow and just stay outside if that's the case. And so he doesn't come in contact with anybody. But he doesn't have any symptoms right now. And the last time Sean was in the building was last Thursday, because he wasn't feeling well on Friday and a day of the weekend. But we pretty much required him to get a test. He said, no, I feel better. I said, yeah, I don't care. And so he tested positive. So now there's a few people that are going to go through that process again. But fortunately, we've had minimum contact with each other. We've been, like, Char and Mark have been working from home almost exclusively. Char's coming in the morning to transfer things from her inbox, and then she puts them in whoever else's box, and then she gathers stuff for the day and goes home. Mark's been working from home. I was doing a bit from home too, as much as I could. And we have some people that are working from home just because they have students who are they're virtually going to school. So there's that monitoring going on while they're working on their laptops. Shar could probably answer any questions about virtual school going on. So we are we're staying open, but it's interesting, right? It's interesting too. And within the last between the two meetings, we have had now 2 positive tests. But I was quite happy that, oh, not happy, but you know, relatively speaking, the fact that Mark Supa tested positive and our safety measures that we have in place made it so that no one else tested positive, because it's a very
April.
yes, Pat.
Can anyone go in the library, or it's open just curbside?
We are just open curbside, just because we want to make sure we can keep curbside open. Just because right now, locally, the infection rate is very high, and I just know too much because I see New
York Mills is open, their library.
They are, and I have cautioned her. I said, you be careful, because she has a few people that have come in. But I know Utica is not open to the public. Rome is not open to the public. And I don't believe New Hartford is either. I don't think there's very many because we are in the designated yellow zone. New Hartford School District, Whitesboro School District, Utica, Rome. So we are a population center. I mean, my daughter told me that they had a refrigeration truck come and get people because the morgue was full. Our hospital is overflowing, way overflowing for standard guidelines, but the pandemic guidelines allow us to show that we still have more beds, but they have beds without any. There are people that need ventilators and they really don't have any. And there's beds, but they don't have monitoring software on them. Right. So it's not pretty. It's not pretty at our hospital right now. So I am not a believer in having us be open to the public for sure. And when I heard, I mean, really, our rates of infection have not improved since Anthony Picenti said way back in, I don't know what day we decided to close. Does it say the 14th on my report? He said curbside is really what was recommended. So we're curbside because, we can't, we just can't. I don't think it's safe. I think that Diane Barry is, she's kind of courageous, but you know what? She's the director and she's the one putting herself at harm. Like if I say, oh, we're open, I'm not the one at that desk. I'm not the one doing all of that. So it's difficult for me, but the larger libraries are not open right now to the public. I mean, we're open and we're doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I know Kim, for example, I saw her and she said, wow, some mom called me and said, can you just find me books that my kids might like? And she said, sure. So she checked out 30 books and she came for curbside and picked them up. So, I mean, we're doing things that people used to do for themselves. So it takes time. And we've got a lot of cute take home things. Like Jamie and Janae just worked on it and it's, I don't know, cozy up to a book. I'm not really sure what it's called, but they got fuzzy socks and some hot cocoa and they checked a book out to them and they have word searches to do. So it's kind of this like care package for adults, which is cute. We've been doing a lot of kids stuff, but this was, and Rosemary, of course, has come up with Kitchen Gnome. And so she has, it's just fun, right? You're stuck home. Maybe you want to cook. And so she's trying to highlight cookbooks that we have. And we'll probably highlight something to do with Raise a Reader. I mean, it's already there. We just need to push it out. So the staff are really doing some fun things and people are very appreciative that we're here. And we are, so if you want something, you need to print. If you email that to us, we'll print it out and we'll send it out curbside. Or there's forms and we'll find the form and we'll print it out. Somebody needed a fax sent somewhere because he didn't have a fax machine. And it was a medical thing. And he called ahead of time and we knew it was coming. And the fax came through and we sent it out curbside. So we're doing a lot of the same stuff that we used to do. I mean, somebody has to maybe give us something that, they wouldn't normally have us copy for them, but so we copy it and we send it back, and it's so people are happy. And we're looking into Wi-Fi. I mean, we have Wi-Fi in the parking lot, but we're looking at boosting our Wi-Fi. So Mid-York is getting a quote on that, and Herm's already run the line. So when it comes in, that'll be going on. So people can sit in their car. It's not perfect, but we're just taking calls from people and we're doing the online stuff for them. And we seem to be meeting people's needs, and if we're not there, we can't meet anybody's needs. So that concludes my director's report.
Okay.
Okay.
And next we have old business. Is there any old business?
I don't think so. I put it all under new. I don't know
Right.
if I
That's
brought
what I
up the
thought.
pandemic plan before or not.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? With the pandemic policy under new business?
do. And, if you haven't had a chance to read it over, we don't have to approve this today. It's not due, but it wouldn't be a bad thing if you've read it over to approve it. The reason that this is a boilerplate, I guess, we attended, and Shar can pipe in, there was this pandemic webinar that was done by the Albany Public Library Director, and he was knowledgeable. This was his thing, but on his board, and in fairness, Albany Public Library is large, has many branches, so it's almost like Mid-York, as if all of our libraries were under Mid. They have many branches. We are one branch. So that it was large, and he had people from SUNY Albany on his board. He had somebody that was on a part of FEMA or something. I mean, this guy went on. I thought, whoa, what? He's got it all together, and I'm just me. But he offered this form, just pretty much this outline. And I have to say, Kim did most of this. It was just, okay, these are the basic things you need to have. And then we changed it, we tweaked it to make sense for us. So this has been done by a whole team of very invested people. And we pretty much just changed a little thing. Like there was something about a union. We don't have a union. So, and they had a title page. I said, really, that's a waste of paper. So that sort of thing, we didn't change a lot. So if you feel better about knowing that, we put in some of the personal things that we needed to do ourselves, obviously put our own name on it. And then we talked about the PPE that we have and how it is that we did things. But it was, we copied a lot. But that's good, right? Their lawyer looked at it, so. And we think it's pretty strong, but we could give you a month if you wanted, or if you've already looked over it and want to vote on it.
Read it. I read it. Did anyone else read it?
Yes, I read it.
Yeah.
I read it.
So
Yep.
why can't we vote on it then?
Yeah, I think we can.
I think we can. There was nothing shocking in it.
No,
Right.
no, I think it's fine.
No, it all looks like pretty much standard operating procedure based on every organization that I've come in contact with.
Okay, awesome.
Has similar protocols.
All right, so we need a motion. Sorry, Sue.
So I'll make a motion.
Pat, was that you?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
I'll second Pat's motion to accept the draft of the pandemic operations plan.
Thank you.
Okay. The next thing we have was the work remote policy.
Which we've
Is
kind
that
of
the-
been,
I
we
couldn't
had
get-
this before a little bit because some people that had some medical leave have used it. So I think we just updated it a little bit, but it's not that different.
What part is different?
I think that we had things to do with, see, we added like parenting in there because that
Oh,
had
right.
to do with people with children in school. we've always had kind of bad weather and emergencies, but the medical reasons, I think it's just a little format. But we had something before. Shar, can you speak to that? We did have something, or maybe we just said so-and-so's having surgery and they're going to work from home, and maybe it was just an individual thing and we didn't have this blanket policy.
Right.
Yes, it was a procedure more than it was a policy.
Thank you. See, look at that. And she drafted on October 28th. But we can change that.
It looks fine to me. Has anyone else read it, or we want to wait to read it?
I read it. I was fine with it.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it, you know, and it certainly makes sense considering that we're not going to be done with this pandemic tomorrow. So remote work policy makes perfectly good sense.
Yeah.
And safer, really. Less people breathe in the same air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty universal thing going on now. There's all kinds of people where it's amazing how many people can get their work done from home without any need to be somewhere else.
I even think even Kim was saying, you know what, sometimes she was, she figured out that she wanted to go through this process of making sure that all the books in the series. So she did this little bit of work while she was at the library and ran reports. And so then when she went home, she could act on those reports. So, you know, you just, if you come in and you go home and you come in, you know, okay.
Yeah. And
so,
it works out. If it doesn't work out in some particular case, then you can take that up at the time. If there's some case where the work isn't getting done.
And there are some people that just can't.
I suspect this is going to become a much more routine feature of everybody's work life, even when we're all vaccinated and this is a bad memory.
Right. It'll save a lot of gas.
Okay, motion?
A lot of commute. Do we have a motion to accept the work
I
policy?
will move.
Is making a motion.
I'll move to accept the draft of the Dunham Public Library work remotely policy into the policy manual.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay, Sue, nice.
Any objections? Nope. Okay, we have something on here that I didn't have any paperwork about. I think I didn't see that today.
This is new, right?
Agenda.
Okay.
The leave of absence with pay policy. Or
this is new because
it's a question.
It came up today in an email and said, well, for those of us going to get a vaccine, is that something that is, you know, covered, you know, is that our time or is it library time? And I thought, well, if you can go get a COVID test, it would be to the library's advantage to encourage someone to get a vaccine. Yes. So that's what I've read. Like, I don't believe we can require somebody to get a vaccine, but if we encourage someone to say, well, you don't have to use your sick time or vacation time or personal time or whatever, then, so that's, we added it. So that all it is, you probably can't see it, but I'll read it to you. Right now, we threw it in there with the donating of blood because you get 2.5 hours for the purposes of donating blood, then comma, receiving vaccines and or testing for viruses.
And for getting a mammogram.
Well, that we already have.
That was already.
Because that's cancer screening.
So
that's
kind of thing.
That's a state law, isn't it? Or
I believe it is. It's somebody's law.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a state law.
So I thought I should ask you, because I think it's a good idea, but I want you to confirm that my idea is a good one.
I think it absolutely is. Does anybody think it's not a good idea?
So then,
until we get herd immunity, it's not going to do any good.
Right. Okay, so a motion?
70% or something, right?
I'll make a motion.
That's sort of the lower
Pat's
edge.
making
Yeah.
a motion. So Pat is in second. I'm taking over, Sue, sorry. Did someone
I can
second?
second it, Sally.
Sally's seconding? Okay. So that's the end of our policy updates.
What do you want
What
to
about
call
the-
that? Bidding?
Oh, what do we want to call it? Well, it could be as attached if you want, because we have, it says 19.3 with pay, and it has to do with leave of absences. And then we could I could attach this page. So maybe revision to 19.3 with pay.
19.3?
Yeah, how's that sound?
Yeah.
And it's called, the title of it is with pay is at the top. And then if this is attached to the minutes, they'll figure it out, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about the resolution for the records retention?
Oh, is that a resolution, Shar?
That's a state mandated. We don't have to do anything with that, do we?
That's fair. We can't
has
break
to
the
be
law.
No, it has to be adopted by
it's
board
just-
resolution. It is required.
Oh, okay, then let's do that.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have that.
So all right, I'll move that we accept the model resolution for records retention.
Correct.
Or revisions to the former, I guess it was revisions to the former
Well, we
records
really
retention.
we never really accepted the old one. So, which now I find out we probably should have.
So we'll just say we're accepting this. Yeah, okay. So I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
So seconded.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, records retention's always a treat.
I will add that to the new business. I'll put it as D, record retention. And I'm not really sure. It's long, right, Shar? Maybe we'll do a hyperlink or something.
Yeah, it's extremely.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was lengthy.
yeah, the hyperlink
it
is.
but the resolution is only half a page.
And that is actually their model resolution. So that came straight from the state as well.
So that'll be attached. Does it have to be signed?
No.
No, you just fill in the Dunham Library trustees and that's it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And
Char
as long
did
as
send
it
that to
appears
me. I
in the
just
minutes.
forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. So that'll be attached to the minutes too. The record
Right, yeah,
retention C attached.
The other part is way too long and detailed and
But this will have
There is a PDF for the model resolution form, which pretty much simplifies everything that needs to be attached.
yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to read it, I do have a hard copy at the library.
I actually read some of it. I'm like, whoa.
I read some of it online, but it was,
I clicked the
So
library
retro,
card
Char.
application, saving the library card application 3 years after the person's no longer using the card. I went, whoa.
and then it left a lot of things to the discretion. You can just sort of picture people saying, nah, we don't need to keep that.
Don't keep anything. I was like, no, we don't need that.
It was interesting.
I promise. Shar keeps everything we're supposed to keep that she knew about.
I want to meet the people who write that stuff.
Oh, I know. My God.
Like,
And
really?
Some of the people in the webinar that I was attending were like very into it. They were intrigued and, oh my God, this is great. I don't know how.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you drive up to Albany and you see this like ivory tower and you go, oh,
Yes.
these are the people that made all these rules.
The education department is big on that.
Yeah.
Fewer rules
It's-
and regulations.
It's good to know that some people are easily amused.
Exactly.
After you cry, right? Okay. All right. So now
No announcements.
I
or
guess I gave you the
communication?
announcements of all the COVID. No
There's no public
communication.
present. No executive sessions. Anybody think we need an executive session?
Thankfully, no.
No, I don't. Okay, and it was really nice to have everybody present.
We got a lot done. That's
Yeah.
like 3 policies and a record retention and a correction of an abstract, and
Yeah,
And a partridge in a pear tree.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not?
okay, you guys stay safe out there.
Yes,
Your hand
everyone.
sanitizer.
And,
Good night, all.
and I will wish everyone a happy whole year. After last year, we, I think, need more happiness than just at the beginning. So,
Yeah.
Breath. Yeah.
Absolutely. We need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Pat
I'd
made
be
the motion.
happy to second that.
Scott.
All right, Pat and Scott, the
Right.
meeting is adjourned at 6:40.
Allie, did you say something?
I'd like to say something to Scott for a second.
Okay.
I
Can you,
think it's, 9
Excuse me?
series at Union College. It's called U-Call. It's for seniors, and the first one is on India. I know you've been there many times, or I guess my impression anyhow. And let me tell you,